Today's guest is an amazing writer and producer. Please welcome to the Zoom, Shak Jessa. How are you?
I'm good.
Well, I'm so happy you're doing. I feel like this has been in the works. We've talked about this before.
For like over a year,
I
over a year and a
know.
half.
Well, I'm so happy we're finally doing this. I adore you, and I just love seeing all the amazing things that you're doing. We always start behind the resume by talking about how we met, 'cause I just find it interesting how, we just met through Kira, right?
We did meet through Kira. Yes, Kira's our mutual friend. I feel like we met on a FaceTime call. I feel like you
Oh
two
my God.
were trying to go to Disneyland, and then it like didn't happen. And then I called Kira, and then you were in like she was in your
Yeah.
house in LA. I think we just met on well, I was FaceTiming her, and you two were like together. And then I was like, oh, who is this swaggy person? And then she's also told me a lot about you through J Team, and I was like, oh my, like she's obsessed with you. And as I'm also obsessed, we're all obsessed with you. And yeah, I'll just also I'll see all the great work that you're doing and all like the community work and also all like the great like acting work and I'm just so impressed and so inspired by all of you. So I'm like, yeah. So it like this net friendship is very natural. It felt really real.
I appreciate this is supposed to be about you, by the way.
Oh, per, but also
What you said that was on the vlog. Do you remember that? We were like vlogging when we called you.
I
So
think
our first
so.
meeting was actually documented on my YouTube channel. For those who don't know, we're talking about the icon Kira LaRue, who is just an incredible human actor, artist, person. Um,
Truly.
who we love. But yeah, that's how we met. And then you came out to LA about like exactly a year ago now, right?
Hey, literally, yeah, literally exactly a year
Crazy.
ago. It's crazy.
And we got to meet and we went to a club that one
We
night.
did for like 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Literally 5 minutes. We walked in, we were like, no, this is not it. Then I think we came back and we just like ate food and it was like that was the best. Or what did we do?
We also
Oh
went to,
no,
oh, the flea market, right? The
we
next
did
day.
go to the flea market. That was more fun. I enjoyed that more than the club. The flea market was fun.
Yep, I agree. Where were you born?
I was born here in Vancouver. And yeah, I've kind of like grown up and stayed in the same-ish area.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have a younger sister, and she's so cool. She's studying to be a nurse right now. I think she's in her midterm. She's like about to go to her midterm, her final, like her midterm this for this semester. An icon. She's so great.
Do you remember what your first dream was as a kid?
Oh, I wildly I wanted to be a figure skater for so long. For
Really?
so long.
Why?
I really did. I don't know. I just thought they were like magical human beings. And then funny enough, I actually like okay, this is I can say this now because I've fully like passed this era in my life. But I really wanted to be a figure skater. And then there was a like you needed like volunteer hours for like school. So I ended up volunteering at the rink and I lied to them, telling them that I used to figure skate and skate. And they didn't buy it. They totally didn't buy it at all. But they were like, sure, we'll let this kid like volunteer for a little bit. So I volunteered for a month. And then they had a posting up to actually like do my job, but like get paid as an instructor. And I was like, yeah, I want to get paid. I want to get paid. It was a union job. That I fully lied on my thing. And then I had to go on the ice and I kept falling.
You got yourself a figure skating teacher job?
I was teaching like babies,
Oh,
like 6-year-olds. So it was like fine because they also couldn't skate. So they weren't like ah ha ha because I was like ah ha ha you can't skate either. And that's why so it was good. And then they just put me with the babies for a little bit and then I actually like and then I got to teach some like upper level classes as I was like leaving. But I did that for like 3 4 years. And then they put me in the shop. Like they I knew how to and also the shop made more money than on the ice as a skating rink. So then I ended up on the shop and the shop was great because the shop made like 5 10 bucks an hour more. So all I did was like just head out skates and like vibe out and like put on music and just like do my homework in the evenings. Because if I did like a late night program and there were two of us, one person would be on the ice, I'd be on the rink, I'd be in the shop. It was great. I've done this a few times. I did this once with skating, and then I also did this once with like Soul Cycle. This is another wild. I feel like this is another wild story. Sometimes I'm like I girl boss a little too hard. So you know like at the gym there's like the bikes.
yeah.
I used the bike for the first time at the gym and I was like, oh, I could be a soul cycle instructor. So then I applied to be a soul, to be an instructor. And I ended up meeting in for an interview and auditioning. I was like 19. I was like super scrawny, like little, like never been to a soul cycle class before. I Googled a workout that I copied and then I like sent it to like Juicy by Doja Cat. And then so I did that. Soul Cycle. I was like, I practiced in the UBC gym. And then I went. to the audition, and this like jacked guy, and then like he was like, okay, let's teach you. And then he was like, okay, let's get you into the bike. Do you have your own shoes? And I was like, shoes, because apparently when you go to cycle classes, you need like clip-in shoes.
Right.
I didn't know this, so I had to put on the shoes, and I didn't know how to clip in. So in audition to be a soul cycle instructor, I had to like they had to teach me how to clip in my shoes. And
Got
then
the job.
I no, I didn't get the job.
Okay.
There's literally no way.
So you said you had these moments of I can do anything
Yeah.
that come from your parents.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Like my grandparents were the one who immigrated here. My mom and dad were like very young. They were like my mom was like a couple months old, and then my dad was like 3 or 7, I think. Like they were really young when they came here. But I think it's that energy of like, I mean, they also didn't like have a choice to come here. Like it was very much like flee persecution, but they were like there was no other option. We have to do this. Like, there's no like backup plan. So I feel like that energy I do carry a lot of like that I feel like they've instilled in me of like you have to show up, you have to do your job, you have to be there because like there's literally no other option.
That's such a great trait to have just in life.
It does get you in trouble with some Soul Cycle instructors. I can never go back. It was not Soul Cycle, it's called Spin and Yin, which now, funny enough, out of business, which, if they hired me, maybe they wouldn't be.
So did you grow up watching TV and feeling any connection to storytelling in that medium?
I did. I loved comedy. I was a comedy girl down. SNL was like one of my favorite things. I was such a nerd. I don't know. It was just magical. I was like, oh my God, this is live. I was really into like stand up. I was really into like sitcoms. I remember the first thing I ever watched and remembered was Melissa Villaseñor's America's Got Talent audition, and she did an impression of Sarah Silverman. I had no idea who Sarah Silverman was. The kids in my grade 3 class had no idea who Sarah Silverman was. I used to walk around my grade 3 class doing impressions of Sarah Silverman, but I would do Melissa Villaseñor's impression of Sarah Silverman. But I was just doing it, and people were laughing. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. People are laughing at something that I'm saying intentionally. That's so cool. I feel like I can control this. If I make a joke and people are laughing, then they're not laughing at me, which I'm like, ooh, love that for them. So then like it was great. And then I auditioned for my elementary school talent show. And then I didn't get in because it was horrible and no one knew who Sarah Silverman was. And no one knew who my jokes were like not adult, but like they weren't targeted at grade 3 people. Like it was about driving.
Third graders, the judges, or like wasn't it the teachers who were?
The teachers were judging, but like the teachers were like, no kid is gonna
Oh,
understand this joke. What is this kid saying?
yeah.
And then I did like improv with a ball. It was bananas. And they were like, Shaq, you are not, we're, and everyone gets into the talent show. I just want to say that. Like literally everyone gets into this talent show. They were like, Shaq, we can't put you in this talent show, but do you want to host the talent show? And I
Okay.
said, okay. So then I ended up hosting the talent show and it was great. But yeah, they
How old
said
are you?
like 9, 8, 9, 10, 9,
Yeah,
10.
yeah, probably. Wow, that's so cool.
It was bananas. It was cool. It was fun. Yeah.
Did you experience bullying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh my God. So I like it's a primarily white neighborhood, like primarily white school. My high school is pretty like Korean and Chinese, so that was also fun. But like, so I felt a little less so in high school. Like, I felt more. I found my people in my community in high school, but still bullying existed. Yeah, I don't know. It was yeah, a little bit through like middle school for sure, and then elementary school. And then when I switched high schools, it was a little bit better because I felt like I also did like an academic program in high school, so I felt like I was just like everyone was too busy studying to bully, if that makes sense. But also because everyone was too busy studying, we were always like, there's nothing to do. Like we were all boring. Like looking back, I was like, oh, I had no fun in high school. I was just like Nerd City. But we live. We
Right.
we stand Nerd City and we were the coolest kids now. But back then I was like, oh, I was so boring. I like didn't do anything.
And you started tapping into this gift that you have of comedy. Did the bullying lessen?
I would say so. I wasn't really like into comedy in high school, like as much as I think I wish. I think it was more like it was like my secret. I was like gay and I liked comedy. And then I came out and I was like, ooh, but I still like comedy. And I need to now come out as someone who likes comedy. That's crazy. That's scarier. Yeah, I think so. Because I think that people like laughter, people like joy.
Yeah.
So they don't really want to like bully the person that's making them smile, especially when everyone's like struggling through academics. But I was definitely not like the funniest kid. I became the funny kid in university, I think. I'm the funny kid now. I wasn't the funny kid in high school because I was too scared of getting in trouble. Like I was never the class clown. I became the class clown in university when I realized, oh, nothing in this life matters, which is so dark. That's sorry, that not that nothing in this life matters. Things matter. But like when I stopped taking like school and life so seriously and still just did my best, but did other things around it.
Okay. Did you have a career path in mind, or what was the career path in mind in high school?
Not really. I think I wanted to do law. I was really into debate. I was really into like Model UN, which is like performance, right? Like you're standing in front of a crowd, you're performing for 6 minutes. So it felt very adjacent to stand up. It felt very, very, very adjacent to stand up. So when I started doing that in improv, like it felt really natural because I was so used to standing in front of an audience for like 12 minutes without, well, especially when you're doing debate too, and it's like a pretty like you have 10 minutes to prepare. Like you're pretty much making it up all on the spot and you have to make coherent sense and you have to like connect and communicate, which is like truly what stand-up is, right? It's like as much as it is joke telling, it's also communicating. Like your jokes have to make sense. Your jokes have to communicate and evoke a feeling and an emotion, whether that's laughter, whether that's sadness, whether that's whatever. Like that's our job is to just communicate. So that taught me that. But I never really had the career path in mind until I wanted to be an actor for a minute because I'd done stand-up and improv and I was like, oh, okay, the next step is acting. So then I got an agent and that was cool. And then I was an actor through like for the past like for 3 years through university, and then COVID happened ish, and then I ended up like so bored in the house bored, and I started like writing, and then I wrote like a spec pilot ish thing, like it was basically the version of me I wanted to be in high school because I was this was like right this was the first year, and I was like, okay, I just left high school and I did not was not the like movie version of high school. So I kind of was like, let me write about that. What does that feel like? What is that version of you in high school that you when you're in high school and you're like, this is not the version I want to be right now, but how do you can't change it because it's like it's really hard to change yourself. What does that feel like?
That's just life in general, right? Not even just art.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah. I know who I am right now and I know who I want to be right now. I know who I want to be, but there's a gap.
right.
But I can't bridge that gap because that's not me yet. So I'm not being authentic to
I
myself.
think
So how
that's
do I be authentic to myself, but also,
I
yeah,
think it's like a never-ending feeling, unless
it's
maybe
never.
not for others, but I certainly feel.
No, it never is. And then
Yeah.
like there were also other characters. Like there was like a grandmother character, there was a mother character, there was a sister, like a younger sister, and they're all experiencing this. And I think the idea that like this one character thinks that he's the only one experiencing this when he looks to all of the people in his life, and they're like, oh, everyone experiences this. It's kind of the idea that you come of age at every age.
Hmm.
Like coming of age doesn't really just happen in high school. It doesn't happen in college. It doesn't happen in your 20s. It happens in your 70s because it's the first time you're ever 70. That's the first time you're ever 40. That's the first time you're ever 65. Like, like you never that's the first time you're six. You don't know any better and you have to like come of age and use your previous knowledge and grow even more. So that was what the pilot was about. And then I ended up submitting it to this like Warner Brothers program and they ended up picking it up for like a year with the program, like a year option development through the Access Canada, Warner Brothers Access and Canadian Academy Canada program. It's very long, but they're great. And then that catapulted me into writing. And then saw a lot of success in writing. And then acting is hard. And I have so much respect for people who do it. I am not the best on-screen actor personally. It's so exhausting and brutal. I don't know how y'all do it. We do like one or two takes and I'm like, oh great. Oh, we have to do like this one scene. I did one scene on Riverdale. One scene. Kira did a whole like season and a half. I did one scene. That one scene of me just sitting in the classroom and I have one line. Took like 6 hours. And I was like, this is brutal. And that was that moment that I was like, I know like I had directed before, I'd written before, and I like to keep my takes really short. I like to move on, but I know it's exhausting. But also as a director, you're always working. Like you're always like on.
Yeah.
As an actor, you're on and then you're off.
Yeah.
And then you're off for like 3 hours and then you're back on again.
Yeah.
But you're back on to the same. I was like, I can't do that. I can't do that. That's whew. And that's one line. I wasn't like in an emotional scene. I wasn't doing anything. I was like, hi, I'm in class. Like it was literally that. I was like, oh, if I'm just like, if I can't do that, because I'm like exhausted and tired. There's no way I can make a career out of this. This is bananas. So then I gradually left acting. I'd still go back to it one day, Kira and I have this debate all the time where I tell her I'm a retired actor, and she's like, Shaq, you're not retired. You just like writing more. And we do this every time, literally every time I see her. And I like she tells me about her self-tapes, and I'm like, I'm a retired actor. And she's like, You're not fucking retired. You're not retired. Um,
So when you just wrote that pilot, did you have any experience writing before? That's so admirable. Just doing it and not making excuses that you don't have XYZ to be worthy enough to, you know?
no, truly. I mean, to go back to the theme thing, it was like the program was for like mid-career writers.
Wow.
I was like, I'm gonna put this in, and I'd written like sketches before. I'd done a few YouTube sketches, so I had written before, but I'd never written a pilot, and I'd never written like for television. But I'd written like sketches. I'd also consulted as a Gen Z consultant a couple of times on some like series and stuff. So like web series, like small series. So then I used that, and I used all that experience, and I made it like, look at how shiny this is.
Yeah.
And then I applied. I think this kind of is very similar to Soul Cycle, very similar to figure skating where I just did it and then I let other people decide and judge whether or not I was good enough, as opposed to me deciding that.
I don't agree. I think it's actually the opposite. You
Okay.
decide that you were good enough to show up. And if it's meant to
Part
be part
real,
of your
real.
journey, it happens. And if it doesn't, it's not that you weren't good enough. Like clearly you
No,
are,
exactly.
you know?
No, exactly. Okay, you know that's so real. Yeah, like you don't like I feel like a lot of us counter like a lot of people like count ourselves out
Yes.
before we're like, oh, I'm not even gonna shoot for that because that's not even in my ballpark yet. That's not in my wheelhouse yet. Well, like you make the decision to do that, and then you say just let someone else like if someone else is like, you know what, T, you're not ready yet. Great. I think that I could be ready, but let me get myself ready. Let me keep myself ready. I don't know if that makes
Or
any sense.
just that opportunity wasn't the right one.
It wasn't, and that's okay. And also having been on the other side now of the on the producing side and actually like casting actors, like we cast actors on our TV show like every other day. Like we have to because it's a procedural that I'm on a new procedural right now called Allegiance in Canada, and it's like every other day we cast because it's just like we have so many actors we need. We'll see like 30, like we'll see like X amount of tapes, and then we'll be like, they're all great. It's never about the actual individual performance itself. It's just about what the person is looking. It's just truly like it's never a personal thing. We have a vision of the character in mind. This person fits that vision. It's not like this person is better. It's well, when they might be. I mean, there's versions where they are. I feel like a lot of people feel like it's always about them. Like, oh my God, I sucked. And it's like, no, you didn't suck. It's you really didn't suck. You kind of ate that up. It just wasn't yours, and that's like totally fine.
So as a writer, you're also able to be part of the casting process right now?
Yeah, so on our show, so I write and produce. So like for the show Allegiance, like we each get to produce our own episodes, which is really fun. That means that the writers like are super involved in the casting process alongside the director and the EPs. And on TV, it's a little different. Like the director still has a lot of say in the actors, but like for recurrings and series regs and stuff, like those go to the writer producers. It's like it's a really interesting. It was really interesting being on the other side because I was just so oblivious to that whole process. I was like, I don't even know how an actor gets cast. I don't even know what the email looks like. Like,
Yeah.
do they get our tape on a? I don't know. I don't know why I would think we're in like the 80s where it's like they get our tape on a floppy disk and they put it into their TV and they watch us on their thing. No, that's not how that works. They literally are sitting there on their phones and they probably like see your tapes like this and and we get the actors access link of all the actors and their headshots and then their resume and then we see them and the casting puts people forward and it's like a normal thing. Like it's yeah, it's just like it was really interesting. It really debunked the whole process and made it feel like less, especially with the world of self tapes. I'm like, oh my God, it must be so brutal because you get zero feedback at all.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I was like, this would suck. This would suck. I couldn't do it. So knowing that like people are watching the tapes and people are actually like we're responding to them, we're like, oh my God, no, you ate that up. Ugh, but it's just it won't like the age casting against this other person, the age isn't right, but you ate that. Like you are the character, but we have our series reg who's this, and we can't have two people. So it's like stuff that's so out of your control.
As a writer, do you feel comfortable? I mean, you're a pretty like open book,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As a writer, do you have any hesitance in kind of like sharing parts of yourself through these characters?
Oh, that's a really good question. Oh my God, wait, I'm obsessed. I really love that. Okay, so I have a new feature that's coming out soon that Kira's actually gonna be part of.
Yeah.
It's so personal, but it disguises itself as completely impersonal, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like it's super campy, it's super like like gestury, like the character's super gestury, like the lead. But underneath that, they're like hiding a lot. So that is a very vulnerable thing, and I'm actually really nervous about that going public. It gets pretty dark. Like it gets pretty laughter is a form of like it's a trauma response. So like what does that look like? What was the trauma underneath that laughter to like really dive into that? So yeah, I'm nervous about that one in terms of like personal stories, but usually I'm pretty open because I like to remove like if I write about something, like it could be inspired, but like at the end of the day, I think too the way I like to treat my characters is I like to treat them like I'll let them be my jumping off point, but I'll let them go on their own journey. And whether it mirrors mine or whether it takes on a shape of their own, like I'll let the character and the world decide that. But like yeah, I like to like use my characters as my inspo and then let them go through their journey. Because I feel like if I write a character named Shaq and he's like doing whatever the heck, I name him me and he's like 5'8" and he's brown and he has a goatee and he's like all the things of me and I'm like okay that's me. I get so protective over him
Yeah.
that I'm like oh I can't put him through dramatic struggles
Of course.
because I'm like oh baby don't know it's
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
There's like the same thing if I like write a friend, like if I'm like oh I mean to be fair I did name this character in this movie Kira and I'm gonna have to rechange it and I'm gonna change it and I know I'm gonna change it. I just have it and I just need to press the command F and just go Kira and then
Yeah.
Gretchen. I don't know if I'm gonna name Gretchen but like some I just need to do it.
What's your why as an artist?
Oh, these are such good questions, Julia. Oh my God. What's my why? It used to be, I mean, it still is. There's the whole representation stuff of like, I want more brown people on screen. But also now I'm like, there's so many people doing that. And I'm obsessed with that. And that's great. And we still need more. And we always need more. We need more women on screen. We need more like queer people on screen. We need more everything. That's great. But I think for me, my why is I just want to make people laugh and be happy. I also want to make them think, and I also want to make them cry, and I want to make people feel something. That's my answer. I mean, ideally, I'd love everyone to love my work because that's just we all do.
Right.
But I'd rather have people hate my work, like actually have like a response and be like, "Oh my God, I hated that," blah blah blah, than to walk out of a theater and be like, "Oh, I felt nothing.
Yeah.
What are you doing for dinner?" "Oh, okay. My popcorn was good." Like I would like if they feel nothing, then I failed. But if
Right.
they at least felt something, I'm like, "Okay, Per, I did my job. I didn't do my job well, but I did my job."
Not necessarily. I mean, think about how much music that's so loved people so strongly dislike. Doesn't mean that it's not
Real.
objective, you know?
Real. I'm obsessed with Gnarly by KATSEYE.
Oh,
And
me
it's
too. Me too.
okay, yay.
I love
Okay, sure. I introduced it to Kara the other day, and we've been listening it to the car nonstop.
the dance. Have you seen the dance?
I've every morning. When I tell you, I literally wake up every morning. I do a cup of tea. You don't know what I did before this call? I had a cup of tea and I put on Gnarly by KATSEYE. No, no,
Yeah.
every morning.
Yeah.
Every morning.
Yeah.
It's literally, I've been doing this for what? How many days has it been since Gnarly came out? Like 14, 15? Cup of tea and Gnarly every morning. That's literally what I did before this call. It was great.
What keeps you motivated and going when career can feel so crazy?
Oh, other than Cat's Eye, I think my friends, really truly my friends and my community, my home community, like they're like up in Vancouver, it's so cool. Like there's so many indie filmmakers that are just like making cool things and I love like TV series. I love TV. It's so great, but it is a grind. And sometimes it can really like just emotionally like take a little bit out of you because you're like you're essentially, especially on a procedural type of show, like you're breaking like 10 features almost. Like, you have 10 individual stories that we have to craft in like a very little time. So it can just be a lot emotionally. So I really look to my friends and my family to like ground me. Like truly after a long day's work, I will call Kira and be like, "What are you doing?" "Okay, do you want to go get bubble tea right now?" "Okay." Like stuff like that. Like it's great. And like being able to have that support system in the community who understand
Yeah.
what you're going through too, because like and but also people who don't understand is also great because then you don't have to talk about film or work, and that's also tea, and we love that. We're all freelancers, right? So we never stop grinding and stop working. But being able to just like have that almost like 9 to 5 mentality, like gives you the energy and the stamina to keep going. At least me. Sorry, gives me the energy and stamina to keep going. Of like, I clock into work, I clock out. I don't need to write tonight because I did my work today. I'm not gonna like slog, but I'm gonna go go for a picnic and like vibe out and live life. Because also as artists too, like if our job is to like channel life
Life experiences.
into life, we need to experience life. Yeah.
What is a day for you right now? Like walk me through a day in your life of Shaq.
Oh, okay. Love. I'm on a hiatus right now. So my days are bananas and in the sense of like I wake up, I crochet. No, I know. Okay, real tea. I wake up, I brush my teeth, I make eggs, I sit on my computer, I watch Gnarly by KATSEYE. I make my cup of tea or matcha. I'm out of matcha powder at the moment, so we've been doing like chai, but I'll make like a cup of chai and I'll watch Laura eat up her dance number. I'll watch Yunche like serve me face. And then I like to go to a coffee shop.
Your room doing the dance. Like, oh,
Oh no, what I literally right there. That mirror has seen every single move of the gnarly video. I'm not even kidding. Um, I'll go to a cafe and I'll try and get some work done there because I feel like just from like changing the space
yeah.
is for me.
What is work? Just writing for
Ooh,
yourself?
writing. I'm also like trying to get this feature off, so a little bit of producing work. I work as a freelance story editor too, so like sometimes it's reading other people's scripts and giving notes on that, or like depending on where we are in production, like sometimes I'll have to like edit scripts or pu publish them because I'm also so I'm working as a writer and a coordinator at the same time because Canadian budgets. But also it's a natural thing for a junior to do is to do both the writer and coordinator position. So coordinating is like making sure that the same, making sure all the slug lines are like the matching so that production is like, why does this say, oh, we're interior detachment? Is that different than interior like CFPC detachment? No, 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 it's the same thing. So just make sure all the slugs look the same, all the scripts look the same, the cast list is so whenever you get a script, a coordinator has like made sure it all looks good together so that it sends out and all the departments aren't like confused or it's really easy for everyone to access. So I do that. So either I'm doing that or I'm like writing my own scripts or I'm working on my own episodes or whatever. So it's a little bit of everything. What other hobbies have I been doing recently? Oh, I've been DJing a little bit. I know. It's kind of fun. So I might go out and DJ like some stuff. I DJ a lot of like jazz and like house. So some of that, right? Like right for myself.
If your 15-year-old self, my favorite question, if your 15-year-old self could see you now, what do you think he'd say?
Oh, he would be living. He would be like, that's exactly who I wanted to be. I
Wow.
hope so. I hope so. I have better hair now. I read a journal of mine recently that was like, what I wanted to be when I grew up and like what I wanted to do and a big thing I really wanted to travel. I was a big like I would sit on YouTube and watch like travel videos like all the time through high school. Maybe it was just like the small town syndrome of like I just want to get out and be in the big city, like that kind of thing, and I never got to do that. I mean, I did through university, but it was still like a university town. It wasn't like a big city, but like I work really intensely for like 6, 7 months, and then I get like 6 to 5, 6 months off. And like those 6 to 7 like months like financially cover enough for me to be able to take time off after. And also I can work remotely after too on like other projects or development stuff. So I just did like 2 months in London. I was in like Amsterdam for a little bit. I was able to go to Morocco for a little bit. I was able to, yeah.
In like hostels or
Oh no, I stayed at like a friend was like a friend was moving out and like their room was free for like a month and a half. So I was like, yeah, I'll take your room for a month and a half. It was fun. I had a cool roommate. She was really cool. I would go downstairs, I'd go to a cafe, I'd go to a bagel shop and walk like 50 minutes to grab a matcha in Shoreditch and then like just I love London so much. I just think it's like I mean it's a scary city sometimes, but it's a vibey city. But yeah, I was able to just write my first play and start working on that and just like like write for myself and live life and meet cool people and just explore who I am and what it means to live life alone and read and just crochet and knit and vibe and it was great.
what do you want your legacy to be?
Oh, I don't know. I just want to support like really fun and cool things. I want to like make things with my friends, make things with my family. I just did like a nice Indian boy. Like I got to produce be one of the producers on that movie. And that was so cool because like I actually got to put my mom and sister in the movie. Like the opening sequence is like my mom and sister and like my aunts and my cousins and like there's like a big dance number in the opening bit and it's like yeah they're all there. They're the ones that are all dancing because we needed extras that we could like rely on. And I was like I will train my family. But yeah, no, so like I want to make cool things with my friends. I think that's just my rising tide raises all ships is like a big thing that I like to live my life by. And also like I think it's just so much more fun when you get to make things with your friends because then it doesn't feel like work. It like feels like because for me like some of the best times I've ever had were on like student sets, right? Where it's like Everyone's friends. We're all trying to make something. Everyone's still working very hard and taking their craft very seriously. Like that doesn't go away. But there's just like a trust with everyone, and I think that trust leads to better art. So I just want to make things with cool people. I think it's like yeah, it's just my legacy is just like to if I could do that, I'll be happy.
You're amazing. Love it.
You're literally amazing, Julia. I'm just like I'm also I mean we this is you're not gonna let me say this, and I hope you don't cut this out because but I'm like I've been following behind the resume for so long, and like. See
Oh,
just the breadth of interviews you've been doing. You're also a very good interviewer. You're very kind. You're very like your questions are so thoughtful. Like, yeah, I just
oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
Not really. I'm obsessed.
Oh, well, I'm so happy that we've been able to make this work. And I learned so much about your story, and I'm excited to share this and for people to be inspired and, you know, see someone they can follow in their footsteps.
That's very sweet. That's very, very kind. Oh.